Now you've got Russia, North Korea, China stirring the pot, et cetera, et cetera. The seeds of World War III are truly being sown in the Middle East at this time. The big new flashpoint, however, is Pakistan. Watch Pakistan. Keep your eyes on Pakistan. It's destabilizing rapidly since the assassination of Benazir Bhutto last December. There have also been 8 assassination attempts against President Musharraf. Al-Qaeda operates out of northwestern Pakistan. That is their headquarters. And when the Muslim fundamentalists take over in Pakistan, probably by 2011, they will inherit 40 nuclear missiles. And folks, we have big problems. Whether you're in Europe, anywhere in the Middle East or whatever, we have big problems. Now, Pakistan also has a guy named Dr. Khan. He's kind of this evil scientist. He's a nuclear physicist who helped them develop their nuclear weapons in Pakistan, and was going into Iran and all over the Middle East and helping other countries develop nuclear power, especially Iran. He's under house arrest right now in Pakistan. He is a radical fundamentalist who hates America and the West. And so the potential for proliferation of nuclear weapons in Pakistan is huge and ominous, and our military and our intelligence services do understand this. Okay, it all started in Iran. Back in 1979, and now it's beginning to spread throughout the whole region. I spent a lot of time over in Indonesia, and you see it over in Indonesia, and you see radicals showing up from Saudi Arabia and showing up to stir the pot over in Indonesia, et cetera, et cetera. So the fundamentalist revolution is a big deal. The wealthy families of the Persian Gulf are scared to death. They are targets of the fundamentalists. Now, when the Shah of Iran was overthrown by Khomeini and the fundamentalists with the help of Jimmy Carter and his State Department in 1979, tens of thousands of the Shah's supporters were taken out and slaughtered. The wealthy royal families and sheiks of the Gulf who have, quote, collaborated with the hated Americans know the same fate awaits them if or when the fundamentalist revolution sweeps through the region. The modern Gulf regimes would look like dominoes and fall as rapidly as dominoes like the communist regimes in Eastern Europe did in the early 1990s. The Islamic fundamentalists hate these wealthy Muslim, quote, apostate, quote, traitors to Islam and collaborators with the West almost as much as they hate Americans, Israelis, Christians, and Jews, and they will not hesitate to exterminate them if they come to power. The Saudi royal family is so afraid of the Shiite fundamentalists in Iran and Iraq that they have announced that if America pulls out of Iraq, the Saudis will militarily support the Iraqi Sunni minority. Okay? So are Israel and Iran on a collision course for full-scale war? November 13th, 2006, Iranian President Ahmadinejad warned that Israel is destined for destruction and will soon disappear. Ahmadinejad has threatened nuclear destruction of Israel. Iran and Syria are arming and backing Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in the West Bank and supplying them with Russian, Chinese, and North Korean weapons. Russia, China, and North Korea are fully backing and arming Iran and Syria, and behind the scenes are backing the fundamentalist Shiite revolution in the region. Israel, Jordan, and Saudi Arabian leaders take the Iranian fundamentalist nuclear threat so seriously that they recently met in secret to discuss how to combat the threat. And when you have Saudi leaders meeting with Israeli leaders, folks, you know you got a big problem, okay? In 1982, when Saddam Hussein was developing nuclear weapons, Israel launched a preemptive airstrike, and destroyed the Iraqi nuclear facility. Israel has upwards to 200 nuclear warheads developed in the 1970s and 1980s with the then pro-Western Israeli-friendly South African government. If Israel feels its survival is threatened, it will not hesitate to use conventional or nuclear weapons to neutralize Iran's nuclear threat, its government, or to vaporize Tehran. The American government under George Bush would probably give silent approval to an Israeli preemptive strike, as they did in the 1982 Israeli strike against Iraq's Osirak nuclear reactor facility. But that certainly would not be the case if Hillary or Obama, some people I've heard call him Osama, were to be in power in the White House. Nervous political flight capital is beginning to exit the Middle East and move into gold. Now, in late 1979, when Russia invaded Afghanistan, panicky flight capital fleeing the Middle East drove the price of gold from $400 to $875 in literally about 6 or 8 weeks. Okay, I watched it happen. Those people were scared to death, and the wealthy people of the Persian Gulf just started pouring money into gold and silver. And they're doing the same thing today. The wealth of the Persian Gulf is very nervous today in acquiring physical gold, both in the Middle East, in London, and in Switzerland. The Middle East, and by the way, if you were a member of the Saudi royal family, guess what? You'd keep that 747 sitting out on the runway 200 yards from your palace. You'd keep it loaded with fuel and ready to go. And they've all got an eye on how to get it out literally overnight if this revolution just breaks out in their country. The Middle East fear premium will become a major factor in the price of gold if America pulls out of Iraq, a growing possibility, if America or Israel attacks Iran's nuclear facilities. Don't think it would be America, could be Israel. If the Iranian Shiite revolution begins to spread in Saudi Arabia or the other Gulf states, panicky flight capital from the region could drive gold literally overnight to 12 to 1,500 and maybe to 2,000. It can happen so fast you wouldn't believe it.